Today's session is going to be led by Galina Nosti, our head of product, and Josh DeVere, our VP of sales. Galina has been with the Employee App for a little over 4 years and is our master of UI and UX design. And Josh, as you know, has worn many hats here. He's been with us since the beginning and is now our VP of sales. So I will turn it over to you both. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Sydney. We are excited to be here. We're excited to share with you what we have in store from the Employee App roadmap perspective. The next slide were the intros that Sydney just so graciously did. Galina, if you just want to say hi so your video pops up to everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Great. Certainly, we will be leading you through sort of the discussion today, and we will have time at the end for any feedback, Q&A, and continue the discussion. So for this session, we got a jam-packed 30 minutes. So we're just going to very briefly talk about our product management process, just so everyone has a brief glimpse into what actually goes into building and developing new features and functionality. We'll do a high-level overview of some of the recent features we've released, as well as our high-level roadmap on a go-forward basis. We'll then dive into some of the wireframes that we've actually developed for some of those key features, and we'll call out which ones those are, and then we'll get into the feedback and discussion. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Galina to talk about our product management process.
Yeah, hey, so when it comes to the what I would call the product journey, a lot of it is pretty much a foreign process to a lot of people. So we just want to give you guys a glimpse of kind of what the phases are. And, when you think about why is something taking so long to release, it's mostly because we have a process that we've, put in place to make sure that we're giving you a product that is ready for your end users to use. So in around phase one, it's around gathering the intel, right? So we're just getting ideas, whether it's feedback from you guys, whether it's internal ideas, the marketplace. We're basically trying to figure out what that product might be. We're prioritizing, seeing where on the roadmap it should be. Is it, in Q1, Q2? Does it, take precedence over something else? And phase two is the fun part where we get to create the requirements, we research and do wireframes around that. That's a lot of where the UI, UX, and typically a lot of times we'll try to bring in you guys as well as the clients to get some feedback around the wireframes, as we've done so with, for instance, the web app stuff. In phase three, that's where we do the active development. So that's where the engineers are doing the work. We're doing QA and testing and beta. And then finally, we're releasing into production. And then the life cycle kind of restarts again. We're gathering your feedback and getting ideas and any additional feedback from you guys. All right, quick look back as to what we've released or in releasing. Push notification V2. So we heard you loud and clear. We understand that our push notification wasn't reliable. So now we've enhanced the server. We're getting it it's more stable. And we've also included a analytics dashboard around that. So now when a push does get sent out, you guys are able to see if it did get sent out, whom got sent out to, and the rate around that time. Then the next thing we have is the new mobile web app integration. So we already have apps that you guys can enable, disable from a hold on one second, sorry. Yeah, sorry. App integrations. So sorry, hold on.
So I think what you're saying, there are apps that you can integrate, you can turn on in your content management system that display to your end users. And we've added a couple of those, right? So MS Teams, Concur, and Bamboo HR. Galina, was there anything else that you wanted to add there?
Nope, that was it. The next thing is around reporting page. So admins needed a better way of getting to the reporting page. I know right now prior it was kind of like a little bit of everywhere. now we have a dedicated page where you can see all your reports, download your reports, and then obviously, as product stuff, definitely request anything additionally that you want or you might want to see. For security enhancement, we've added what's known as multi-factor authentication using email. So that is kind of think about it like a two-factor multi-factor authentication. So, you send out an email, a PIN gets sent to you or sent to the end user, and you can send that PIN code as you log in. The new SSO integration, these are just a bunch of new SSO integrations that we have integrated. If obviously you don't see one, definitely reach out to us so then we can create an integration, and as well as also reach out to client success managers so then you can integrate with one of these if you have them.
Great, thanks, Galina. And just to call out, in regards to what you see for push notification V2, that is included in app version 10.0.440. We're in the middle of pushing that out to all of our client base, and that process does take some time. So if you haven't yet received that app version, I'm sure it's coming soon, and please reach out to your client success account manager to understand sort of where you are in that process. Additionally, for the mobile and web integrations added, if that's sort of generally news to you in terms of, hey, what are these app integrations? Again, please reach out to your client success account manager and they can take you through exactly how that can get set up. It's a very quick process, and we've just simply added additional integrations that are now available. Now to the fun stuff. So here is our look ahead. So we'll talk about what's coming over the next month and a half or so as we wrap up Q4, which is crazy to think that we're sitting here in the middle of November talking about wrapping up Q4. Then we'll get into Q1, and then we'll look at Q2 and beyond. And the reason we've broken that out is because as we think about our product roadmap, we have a pretty defined roadmap 3 months out. And then when we start looking anywhere from 4 to 6 months out, we have a pretty solid idea, but things can certainly fluctuate. And then beyond that, that's where we still continue to prioritize and make sure we can bring new items into the roadmap as we hear that feedback from clients, from prospects, from the broader competitive landscape as well, to make sure that we're keeping the employee app platform up to date. So going through what's going to be coming out soon. One is the password reset feature. So currently only a specific end user would be able to reset their own password. We've heard from a number of companies that they want to be able to assist their employees in that process. And so we're now giving administrators control, the ability to do that, just to help end users a little bit quicker if that's something that your team wants to help support. We'll also be finalizing our multi-region hosting. So we are going to be spinning up additional AWS servers in different regions for better global support. Next up is posting free text from the mobile app. So many of you leverage the free text feature from your desktop. So when you upload content, you have 3 options. You can upload, you can add a web link, or leverage free text. And we're bringing that free text capability. Now you're going to be able to do that from the mobile app. And this is going to be coming in version 10.0450. So it's not going to be in the app version that's getting pushed out pretty much as we speak, but it'll be in that next iteration. The development work on that is nearly complete. And so we do expect, as Galina sort of mentioned earlier, we're going through that QA process and testing to make sure that it is production ready before we roll it out to all of our clients. And then the next item that you'll see here is thread commenting. So when a user makes a comment, if another user wants to effectively reply to that comment, it will show that in a thread. So that way you have the ability, or I should say, end users have the ability to sort of reply to one another, which is something that we've seen on a lot of other social media channels, and we wanted to make sure we provided that functionality as well. Now that functionality is going to be in the version after posting free text from the mobile app. So we're slating that for 10.0.460 with completed development in Q4, but that won't get released until Q1. As we look into Q1, I'll just make a note here. The items with asterisks, and you'll see this throughout the next few slides, those are the ones that we have wireframes, and we'll be showing those wireframes shortly after we get through sort of Q1 and Q2. So just be on the lookout for those in a few minutes here. As we get into Q1, we are going to be developing hashtags. So this is going to give your team the ability to have hashtags that are searchable in the app, as well as provide analytics around what those key terms or hashtags are. So what we're really thinking about here is campaign driven. So if you're thinking about, I want to do a new, we were just talking about Halloween candy, and you want to do a Halloween campaign, you can set up your own Halloween 2021 hashtag, and then you'd be able to gather all of the analytics around content consumption and who's sharing that information, all that stuff around hashtags that you might be familiar with on other social media channels. We'll also be developing @user mentions. So this is something that's been highly requested. So something that allows you to specifically call out or @mention a specific user or users. And that's something that, again, has been highly requested, and we're excited to get that into development. And then lastly is the enhancements to our analytics dashboard and filters. So we're continually working to improve our analytics to make sure that the data we're feeding back to you as our client base is giving you the data that you need to make sure you're being effective in your communications. And so we want to consistently improve that dashboard and the data that we're providing to you. Now, something I should have mentioned probably at the start, but it's coming back to me now. The features that we're developing here, these are not the only things that we are developing. These are the key items and the new feature sets that are going to be included throughout this time frame. We are regularly performing server updates and bug fixes and doing a lot of the things sort of on the back end to make sure that the platform continues to be operationally performant, and we have significant stability. So we're always doing those things. They're not going to be highlighted here on the roadmap, but I do want to mention that before I get into the next slide here. And then Q2 and beyond. So I want to call out the first item, which is Web App 3.0. So for clients that have been with us for a number of years, you may recall that I believe it was mid to late 2019, we introduced Web App 2.0, which was a big step forward in terms of the desktop experience, because we do know that while we do focus on the mobile app, there are a number of users who are leveraging the desktop experience. With Web App 3.0, we're excited to take that a step further. And we'll get into some of those wireframes, and some of the clients on here participating in the summit, I know have already actually participated in some of that feedback session to understand, what is that next iteration of the web app going to look like? And so we thank you for participating in that. If that's something that you want to partake in, as a side note, please reach out to your client success account manager. We're always looking to gather additional feedback, particularly as we share the wireframes here momentarily. Now, I'm not going to sort of spell out all of the other bullets that you see here relative to new features and services that we are going to be rolling out, but I will hit on a couple key ones. So there's a number of social features, so end user comment moderation and posting comments that have photos or GIFs in them. And then we also have a big one is SMS alerts. So currently, through the app, as everyone is aware, you have the ability to send a push notification to users that have downloaded the app, that have registered for the app. And we're always trying to champion our clients to continue to drive adoption to make sure they can reach your entire employee base. Achieving 100% adoption is not always going to be achievable, for lack of a better term. And so with SMS alerts, the current scope is that this is going to allow you to communicate in a secondary fashion to those employees that don't necessarily have downloaded the app or have registered for the app. And so we're really excited to begin the development work for the SMS alerts. There's a number of other items there. And the last one, I'll call it again, more from a social feature, is the ability to upload multiple images at once. So sort of thinking about a gallery or photo gallery that, if you think about a Facebook or an Instagram where you can post multiple images at once, that is absolutely something that the team has been looking at as well. Now, for the next few slides, I'm going to turn it back to Galina, and she's going to go through a couple of those items, the ones that were asterisked, so you can put some visualization to some of these features that we're discussing.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. And I would also say that when it comes to these wireframes, they are always subject to change. So, don't take to heart with some of the things that you might see. These ones right here that you're going to see is around the admin recent password. This one is already in the works and we're almost completed with it. But basically, you'll be able to reset the password for a given user. If you can go to the next one. And then when it comes to analytics, so we understand that when it comes to filtering, it's not the easiest to understand. It's very clunky. It doesn't really work sometimes. So a part of this enhancement to the analytics dashboard is enhancing the filters, making sure that they properly work. Whatever filtering you're doing, that data is correct. And that's a part of this project. On top of that, we're kind of enhancing that dashboard, giving some more visualizations and, when it comes to viewing your data. And the next one, Josh, when you have a second. And then the social features, as Josh had mentioned, we've got @mentions inside the caption. We've got the thread commenting. And then lastly, we've got the hashtagging inside the content caption as well. And then lastly, the biggest one of all, we're all very, very excited for, and definitely have been getting a ton of feedback around this, is the web app v3. Kind of alluding to more of an internet-like style with widgets that we're, wanting to be able to enable and disable at the admin level, and be able to just quickly see at a glance your organization and what's happening in it, instead of having to go every single page and diving into, each pages and areas. So we're hoping that this will help give that better experience. I'll run it over to you, Josh.
Great. So those were all of our prepared remarks for today. We're very eager to open this up for discussion. I know Amy and Sydney were trying to prime some people for some questions here. We'd love to hear from you. We're happy to dive in if you have questions about, what you saw in the wireframe, perhaps maybe with the web app or some of the others that we're going through. Or maybe you have been requesting a feature to your client success account manager and you didn't see it on the roadmap. Feel free to bring it up and we're happy to discuss. Unfortunately, we can't develop everything all at once, as much as we would love to. So, but we would be happy to hear exactly, what you're thinking, and we can better incorporate that into our roadmap on a go-forward basis. So with that, if you want to, I do see some questions that are coming through. Sydney, do you want to sort of share out some of those questions, and then Galina and I can address them?
Absolutely. So Liz asked, is there any plan to be able to track user engagement rather than just adoption? Absolutely.
So that is going to fall into the category of let me share the analytics. So quickly, you can kind of see this monthly active users, and we're trying to really drive home that point of user engagement. How are we tracking that? I'm not going to be able to provide more specifics on that right now. Galina, I'm not sure if you have any additional data points that you wanted to call out, but this isn't something that we are very much actively looking at. And I highly encourage you to reach out to your account manager to discuss specifically what you can do today, as well as what might be coming down from a roadmap perspective.
And Liz, if there's like something in particular you're thinking of as far as user engagement, let us know too, because if that already exists, we'd love to let you know. Galina, I'm sorry if I cut you off.
Yeah, that's all. I was actually trying to get some more insight as to what Liz was asking when it comes to engagement, whether that's around the downloading the app or the web app, or whether it's content. Definitely give us some more information so we can let you know.
Awesome. Great. And Stevie asks, is there a way to create a report of new users?
So yes, it's just going to be a function of exactly what you're looking for. And I would absolutely refer you to your account manager to show you how to do that. The way I'm thinking about it now, if I'm understanding your question as it stands, is you can download a registration report, and then that would give you the ability to look at who has registered along with the date that they've registered, so you can segment out what you'd be defining as a new user. If I'm misunderstanding your question or you want to dive in a little bit more, again, please feel free to reach out to your account manager.
Yeah, and Josh, I'll just jump in there too. So that report can be found in the reports tab that's in the CMS. So you'll find a registered, unregistered user report that you can download directly from that section.
And Adam has asked, I saw SharePoint integration on the list. Can you share at this time what that might include?
So the short answer is, and let me bring up, here you go. So it's on our Q2 and beyond, which means in its current state, we know it's a priority item that we want to develop, but we haven't necessarily gone through all of the specifics to define the full scope of what that's going to look like. What I can say is that using our REST API today, you can integrate with your SharePoint site, so that way, as you push content onto your SharePoint site, you can also push that directly to our app. To get that set up, it is going to take some level of IT involvement, and everyone's SharePoint is configured a little bit differently. And so we need to really dive into some specifics. The goal of the SharePoint API specific integration is to make that process significantly easier. So that way it's a little bit closer. I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but a little bit closer to a plug and play situation where there might not be any IT involvement. I know that's not going to be 100% the case, but that's the goal, is to get as close to a plug and play situation as we can. So that way, as you're publishing content, because many clients we recognize are using SharePoint or some other intranet, and give you that ability to not have to duplicate effort potentially if you're posting the same content in multiple locations.
Adam, let us know if there's something in particular that you are hoping would be included in that. Otherwise, thanks so much, Josh. Awesome. Any other questions? See in the chat, Adam's excited about web app version 3. Same. Also, Adam says thank you. He didn't know that was currently possible. So this is good. Awesome. Anybody else? Here we go. Oh, Patty, you accidentally didn't send that to everybody. But Patty, saying to you, Adam, he's working through the SharePoint integration with the customer and it's pretty close to complete. So he'll grab some time with you to kind of talk you through how to do that. Oh, there it is. Awesome. Any other questions, feedback, hopes and dreams for Beyond?
And for clarity, this is not the only time that you have the opportunity to share your feedback. We absolutely encourage and your feedback. For those clients that have been with us for years and years, I'm confident they would be able to say that some of their feedback at some point in time has been incorporated into the app. So we very much focus on client feedback, prospect feedback, what we're seeing in the market, in order to, again, provide all of our clients the best experience from a technology piece, from a technology side of things. I know Amy and our client success and support team is the best in the business, so I'm not worried about that side of things. But we always want to make sure from a technology side that we are giving you the best technology that's on the market.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. And just to add, Galena and our team, we talk a lot about how we create more transparency in this roadmap and how we create ways for your feedback to be, real time and present. So that's something I think you'll see working in throughout the course of the next year. We're talking about some different plans and solutions and how we can bring that into the client community app. So look for more opportunities to have access to roadmaps, to have the ability to weigh in on features and functionality. But your voices are critical. This is your experience. You know what your employees want and need from it, and it's our goal to make sure we're providing that for you.